military intervention at the meantime. But I guess ECOWAS is going ahead with that. Moving on to other conversations very quickly. Okay, so yeah, I did tell you that subsidy removal, federal government approves, announces 5 billion palliative for each state, and we are hoping that would really help to cushion the effect of subsidy. And I also did tell you that Atiku's aide is saying that, you know what, this money where be said that they come out given like this, na fake. This one where they say they want you stabilize the dollar, na fake. I don't know why he said that, but I'll let you in on it. So you recall the Unical lecturer that we talked about the last time, that that incidentally, that was on Monday, that we talked about how, you know, he's been sexually assaulting young ladies in his faculty. Well, we hear that Unical has suspended the dean, okay, over that accusation of sexual harassment of students. Well, we'll also bring you details of that later on. And hey, Defense Headquarter has said that 3 officers, 22 soldiers have been killed in Niger State. You know, the ambush that happened there, and also in that crash. I did tell you yesterday that some terrorist made a video and said that nothing crashed. Then now we use AK-47 shoots down the helicopter that went on a rescue mission. Right? But then Defense Headquarters is saying that total, you know, after I told you that, you know, there's been a bit of silence by government towards that. But then now they've spoken up. They said that 3 officers and 22 soldiers were killed in that Niger State ambush, and, you know, ultimately the crash. We'll also look into that conversation, Lagos. And then let's see, we'll pick out about 2-3 of, I know that you've been saddled with, you know, stories concerning the president's ministerial portfolios since morning. But we'll pick out about 2-3-4 of them. And let's see how, you know, they actually fit into their portfolio very well. We may look at the Ministry of Aviation, you know, by Festus, headed by Festus Keyamo now. We'll also look at Ministry of Finance, headed by Wale Edun. We will also see how we can look at the Ministry of Niger Delta, headed by Nyesom Wike, and why that may be. And we'll also look at the ministry or the health sector generally, as headed by Ali Pate. We would look at those, you know, in the course of this conversation. But let's move very quickly. So I did tell you yesterday that a court in US had said giving the president and his legal team till 23rd of August to ensure that they tell them, they prove to them beyond reasonable doubt why they should not, you know, release the Chicago State University documents to Atiku Abubakar. Well, the president has sent his APC lawyer Oluwole Afolabi to defend him against Atiku in Chicago Records case. So we're still waiting to hear, you know, more from that story. I just thought to give you a heads up on that. That's to say that the president's team is actually preparing to defend that. And then there is no need running through the ministerial list again already, because I'm sure you guys are already saddled with that, right? But we will look at, I also see 10 new ministries that the president created or probably modified or refurbished. We'll also look at those in the course of this conversation, because there's been like a modification of 10 new ministries. So we'll look at those. And yes, I told you ECOWAS said that we are ready to invade ECOWAS. We're ready to invade Niger. That's what ECOWAS is saying. All right, Lagos, these are the hot topics. My name is Precious Enyi, and I still have Mr. Darlington in the house. Your Monday, Thursday tonic. Good evening, Mr. Darlington.
Good evening, pretty Precious. How are you doing?
You were trying to say something, were you?
Yeah, did you say Wike is heading Niger Delta?
Sorry, he's heading
Abuja.
FCT. He's heading FCT.
Okay,
Apologies. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Like, maybe Niger Delta is just in my mouth anyhow. Maybe I just feel a bit sentimental about it. Thank you so much, Lagos. Let's take a breather. I'll be right back to bring you details of the conversation. Stay with us.
Listen to hot critical analysis and top trending topics of the day. Join Precious, Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. on The Evening Rush.
Join Precious every weekday from Monday to Friday on The Evening Rush. Don't miss it.
Lagos, you are welcome back. It's still 90.3 Voice of the People FM. So let's go straight to, shall we begin with the good news now, or we should begin with ECOWAS? Mr. Darlington, which would you like to start with?
Start with the one that pleases you most. You are the moderator.
You don't want us to start with good
If
news.
I want to start,
People are going to get plenty bags of rice
how many 5 trucks have you?
per state.
Are you serious?
Well, let's go to ECOWAS first, right? So the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, says it has begun the activation of its standby force in Niger Republic to restore constitutional order in that state. Now, ECOWAS said this after a meeting of the bloc's defense chiefs in Accra, Ghana's capital city, yesterday, Wednesday. Although the defense chiefs had backed the calls for dialogue as a mediation tactic in Niger, the group said all elements that would go into any military intervention had been worked out and were being refined. This included the timing, resources needed, and how, where, and when to deploy such force. Okay. Last Thursday, ECOWAS directed the deployment of standby military troops in Niger after the coup's junta defied the bloc's deadline. See, there's a lot I have to say, so much I have to say about this ECOWAS issue. You know, it just reminds me of an interview I had seen a while ago. I think that interview was done by someone who was, former African Union ambassador. I don't know if you know her, Mr. Darlington. I think she's Chihombori. You know the lady Chihombori, right?
Yes.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. So if I remember that interview, I think I should just call our attention briefly to that interview. It's quite lengthy, but let me just play perhaps just a little bit of the beginning so we get a better understanding of how some people feel, about this whole action by ECOWAS. This wasn't done, during this period, but it still relates to what's happening now with ECOWAS. Take a listen, Lagos.
People must know the truth and nothing but the truth. France remains as a member of the UN Security Council, and yet France today remains one of the biggest perpetrators of human rights violations in Africa. And everybody is giving it, the world is giving it a blind eye. United Nations. It is a body that's supposed to be the watchdog for human rights violations. France remains the biggest risk to peace and security in Africa today, and nobody is talking about it. France did something absolutely deplorable. Made the former colonies, because they still are colonized, sign a document which they called the Pact for the Continuation of Colonization. Dig this. On one hand, we're giving you your independence, but on the other hand, sign this document that you are agreeing to continue to be colonized. So 2 countries said, no way, Jose, we aren't doing this, Guinea and Mali. The French could not understand it. How could an African country dare not want to be affiliated with France? So in their anger, history tells us that they went into those 2 countries, took everything that they thought they had brought, proceeded to pour concrete into the sewage pipes, completely devastating the 2 economies. This was also done as a way of letting the other countries know that should you refuse to sign this document, this is the fate that awaits you. So the rest of the countries signed the Pact for the Continuation of Colonization remains in place. What is special about this? The Pact for the Continuation of Colonization said, 1, you shall deposit 85% of your bank reserves with the French Central Bank under the control of the French Minister of Finance. The French government will take all your monies, collectively invest your monies in the French stock market under the French name. And you don't have to know what the returns are. Should you wish to access some of your money, keep in mind that countries are now left with only 15% of their reserves. You have to submit your country's financial report. And if approved, you get to access up to 20% of your deposits from the previous year as a loan at commercial interest rates.
Your own money as a loan at commercial interest rates.
Should you want to access some of your own money, you have to submit your own country's financial report. And if approved, you get it as a loan at commercial interest rate. So you go from having a humongous credit with France to now owing France for borrowing your own money.
So Lagos, I wouldn't want to bore you with that. That was quite a lengthy conversation, quite lengthy there. If I go on and on with that, you would cringe, trust me. So I took all day researching on this conversation, and it just got me a little bit worried. And I'm just wondering, what is really going on in Africa? What is really happening? Is it that our supposed leaders, forgive me or pardon me by saying supposed, are perhaps not privy of all of this? Is it that maybe they're just maybe they're unaware of what's going on? Are they also unaware that Africa, has at least Africa is so rich that the 54 sovereign states in Africa are so wealthy that they have so much mineral resources. They make up at least 17% of the world's population. Population is what drives the economy, isn't it? At least that's what I was told by simple economics. And then they also forget, or perhaps they are unaware, that 9.6% of the global oil output comes from Africa. So that means you must have a say, shouldn't you? When you produce 9.6%. Perhaps we're also unaware that about 90% of the world's platinum supply, 90% of platinum supply of the world, the entire world, comes from Africa. That is to say that the world depends on Africa for platinum. The world depends on Africa for platinum. Perhaps maybe we also forget that 90% of the world's cobalt supply also comes from Africa. These are natural resources that Africa is just blessed with, that we need to even think and say we get them safe. We need the warriors. And half of the world's gold supply, now Africa get them. When it comes to gold, half of the world gold supply, Africa. The other day we were talking about how Niger have so much reserve and how much supply of gold, but yet is another country, France, that has a better, or that have a better reserve of gold than a country that is deposited, that has so much gold deposits. So are we forgetting that half of the world's supply of gold comes from Africa? 2/3 of the world's what do they call that? Is it manganese or so? Also comes from Africa. Manganese. So that is to say that 2/3 means if you share that thing into 3, 2 of it comes from Africa. Yeah. That is to say that the world largely depends on Africa for its manganese production. I don't know how we are able to forget all of these things. That at least 35% of the world's uranium comes from Africa. 35%, not 1%. 35% of the world's uranium comes from Africa. You need not let me tell you the things that you can produce with uranium, including your nuclear, stuffs. And 75% of the world's coltan all comes from Africa. With how rich Africa is, I'm wondering, why we're going about what we're going about, and why this continent remains the poorest continent in the world. Well, I just thought to lay that precedent. Let me hand over to Mr. Darlington to go ahead.
Yeah, Precious, thanks a lot for that intro. In fact, when this thing broke, I was cringing while this lady was talking. Some media houses played it and all that, and it's on the internet. And I was asking myself, Nigeria is supposed to be the giant of Africa. For God's sake, are you not supposed to lead the battle to emancipate Africa?
So I'm sorry to cut you, Mr. Darlington. I hear that the ambassador, Arikana Chihumbori, was actually ousted as the ambassador to Africa in the US because of all of these revelations.
Exactly.
Perhaps, they thought to do away with her. That's what we heard. I mean, that was in the news anyway. So
but you
let's go ahead.
You can't hide the truth forever now. Whatever is hidden shall be revealed. But what I'm asking is, Nigeria, why are we in this? Can't we make exceptions to some of these things? At least, if we can lead the battle to emancipate Africa, Precious, will it not be a credit to us? Imagine any country now trying to colonize Latin America. United States will not be watching you now. They will even get involved without you inviting them, because Latin America, United States of America, they are all in North America or South America. The same thing, they are bearing the same thing, just that geography divided them. But I'm saying, why must Nigeria lead the battle to destroy a fellow African nation, in West Africa for that matter? Having heard and having seen all these things, how can any rational mind, how can any patriotic mind be happy with this? Knowing fully well that what they are going to do in Niger is to teach others a lesson. They want to use Niger as an scapegoat. That is just the only truth. There are no two ways about it. Unfortunately, they are using your own brothers to fulfill this. They know they cannot invade Niger. They know they cannot do anything against them because it is within them. It is their territorial abandon that all these things are happening. But they are using you. Precious, they are using you. And that is where it pains me. And we claim to be giant of Africa. It's so bad. Seriously, if Nigerian governments know their own, this is the time for them to assert their position. In fact, there is something Tinubu will do today. All of us will rally around him. I'm telling you. As long as it is to emancipate Africa. Didn't you see what you did in South Africa? Murtala spoke thunder to them. Murtala, he spoke thunder to the Western world. We practically liberated South Africa. Then why would we open our eyes in this age and time and allow this colonialism to continue? Look, if they succeed in Niger, they will succeed in Nigeria. Let nobody be mistaken about it. If they do what they want to do in Niger and succeed, Nigeria should be getting prepared. It's not enough to say, Nigeria, we liberated Niger, we gave them democracy. No, this is not giving democracy. You are continuing the suppression of your people. That's just the meaning. Unfortunately, most people from the north, especially Nigerian leaders, they have affiliation with Niger. Are they not aware of these things? This revelation, is it not enough for them to say, no, this cannot happen? We are not going to continue like this. What is wrong in freeing yourself? The people that are colonizing you, are they God? Are they the one that created you? What is that thing that makes France say that yes, they have overriding interest on African nations? What is that? Did they create them? These are questions that somebody should ask. A man is a grown-up. He should be on his own now. The slave trade and colonialism ended years ago. Why must he continue up till now? Meanwhile, you will be the one talking about Africa and how they underdeveloped. Meanwhile, you have continued. After all the books that have been written, after all the revelations, our leaders keep quiet. Do you see why I get angry? Pressure, do you see why I get angry? When I see things that are going, I will be asking about, does it mean that Africa will not have brain? That these people will continue to maroon us, treat us anyhow, and we keep quiet. Meanwhile, we have leaders who say they are protecting our interests. Look at how our youth are trooping to Europe and America for greener pastures. Meanwhile, the same people you are running to are the ones that created the unhealthy situation at home. They are the ones. Imagine if we are to tap these resources. Precious, imagine the level of development. Will Africa be hungry? Will they be looking for greener pastures? will they be having all this military regime? Because things will be there for everybody, just like it is in the Western world. That is the problem. They take a stooge and put him there. When these school leaders are saying they want to try Bazoo for treasonable felony, it is because he was dancing to the tune of their colonial masters. And some people got angry. This was one of the reasons why Russia quarreled with Europe. Russia doesn't have any apology for what they are doing. That's why they cannot talk to Putin. Putin will open them up if they try anything on him. Putin doesn't have the interest in all this colonial whatever. He wants to free people. But to the Western world, no. That is the problem. So instead of our leaders to lead, Nigeria this is where you prove that yes, you are the really giant of Africa. Having seen this revelation, having had this revelation, what are you doing? So we should all keep quiet, Abi, until we get our own doorsteps. Because when they finish with Niger, mark me, they will come for Nigeria. They will come for Nigeria. Already see what is going on in Zamfara. I said as I'm talking to you today, there is a place in Dubai where they say purely Nigerian gold. In Dubai, Nigerian gold. There is a market for it, special market.
Well, you wouldn't be the first to say this. You do remember that the former APC campaign council lady that moved out during election also did make this revelation.
It's a fact.
That's when she also made the revelation of what she called the black. Was that uranium? There was this. I think the blue gold. There was something she talked about too.
Yes, it's all over Africa, and that God will use it to bless us. Precious. Why are we free? Tomorrow we start blaming God. Precious, why must this be going on? Don't we have people with brain in Africa? For God's sake, these people that are manipulating our leaders, who are they? Who are they? Are they not human beings like you? Look at how China liberated itself. We have history, how nations liberated themselves from the Western influences. What is Africa doing? What is West Africa doing? What is Nigeria doing, for God's sake? Do you see why I get angry? Because I am involved. I'm a Nigerian. If they can mess up our leader, they can mess me up too. So what, if you want to say you are wise, look at you. We have dealt with your leader. Who are you? That's the meaning. But when you have a strong leader, you dare not. Pressure, you dare not go and touch any American resources now.
Talking about this now just reminds me. So I've been going. There's a particular interview that I think I played this before on this show too. A particular interview. I think it was in some summit. I can't remember that detail now. Where an American economist was interviewed, and the question that the journalist did ask him was the difference between the debt because America owes a lot of debts, that, right? So the Nigerian, I said they are Nigerian, the African, I think she's African. The African journalist did ask that what's the difference between the debt that America owes and the debt that African countries owes. Mr. Darlington, let me take a listen to what his response. His response was to that particular question. I think Lagos, you need to listen.
America is never going to pay its debts. It doesn't have to. Its debts are in its own currency. We can simply print it. The African debt is not in its currency. The African debt is in U.S. dollars. Africa has to earn the U.S. dollars, and the only way it can earn the U.S. dollars is not to be assassinated for growing its own food and becoming independent and doing something that the United States does not like. The principle underlying the foundation of the World Bank is that no country should grow its own food. Africa and the third world should only grow export crops. To export, in order to have an oversupply of cocoa and other tropical raw materials, to keep down the price, they must buy their grain from the United States or Europe, so that if they do something that we don't like, we can do what America tried to do to China in the 60s. We can sanction them. We can say, we're going to starve you. We're going to not export any grain to you. So owing their foreign debt in dollars means that they have to somehow sell something that the United States wants, not what they want. I think the most evil organizations in the world today are the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund.
So Lagos, you heard that. That's from an American. So that's not my voice. It's neither is it my father's voice. So that's it. And I'm just reading through some messages now. I'm looking at some reactions on YouTube, and I saw Fisayo Majikudumi says that Nigeria has also signed an agreement to export gas from Nigeria to Morocco and France.
Of course.
But that's not just even a Nigeria thing, because I think it was a tripartite agreement. It's an agreement by Algeria, Niger, and Nigeria. It's a collective MOU that is signed. I think that was done sometime in 2022. It's not Tinubu's government, But the sad thing about that is that, yes, we know we have gas in excess supply, but do we have light? And there must be something we can put that gas into use for. There must be something we can use the gas for. How about if we try using those gas to convert them to the energy that we need for light? To ensure that for a country with over 200 million population, I think we need, if I'm not mistaken, we need over 100,000 megawatts of electricity to survive. I don't know if my figures will be right.
God.
But we're currently producing paltry 5,000 megawatts. We're still struggling. Sometimes it dwindles from 3,500, 3,800 like that, up and down. So if we could push, the resources that we have in gas, especially now that the new administration has done, there's a new ministry now of gas, that has to do with gas and all of that. If we could push that resources of gas that we have into energy, will it not be, better benefit for us? Because one of the things that crumbles small and medium scale businesses a lot in this part of the world, or in this country particularly, is lack of light, access to electricity. That's one reason why businesses are not doing well. Because you produce your own electricity, you do everything for your own self. So if perhaps I don't want to say we have innovative government, because I believe that we do have people who have, reasoning. But if perhaps we could just transform, instead of giving to France, because now Russia is no longer giving to them because they're quarreling. So instead of giving to France, and we say, okay, let's use the excess gas we have and use it to ensure that we have enough light. Is there a criminal offense? Is something going to happen? Because at the end of the day, what that would mean is that we would have more people doing businesses in Nigeria, and that will in turn, increase the revenue generation in Nigeria, which may even be a better benefit than whatever amount that France would have been paying us for that gas, which may not even be it in the first place. I don't know, but these are just my thoughts anyway. Thank you so much for that message you sent. You just, awakened that thought from my head, really. All right. So Lagos, phone lines are open. 0700 903 903 903. We are talking about Nigeria or ECOWAS saying that they are ready to deploy their, joint task force or joint military force to Niger Republic, that everything is, prepared and ready for that. And that's actually what led to all of this conversation. But let's move to a better news, Joe. The one that will better you people. It is a fact that the federal government has said now every state collect 5 billion naira and take 5 trucks of rice. Mr. Darlington, how many bags of rice do you have in a truck? I think 200 bags, Abi.
No, that used to be 600.
Okay, 600 bags. So imagine 600 bags of rice times 5. People go see rice well in one state. I don't want to talk about the population of the state, but anyhow, people will see one cup to eat for one day.
600.
You understand? So Lagos, that's it. So let me read that news for you. So the National Economic Council, of course, today, Thursday, said that the federal government has approved 5 billion naira grant to be given to each of the 36 states of the Federation for the procurement of grains, as well as 5 trucks of rice, to reach states as palliatives to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy. So they're not talking the money they go dash on now. They say they will use it good, they go use and procure grains. My only concern with most of these things is who will buy it. At what rates would they not buy those grains now that will not be inflated and now make it almost, a nonsense of the entire help, right? So the NEC also approved the distribution of 40,000 bags of maize to be distributed to states. So it also directed the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA to distribute food items to states sharing border with Niger Republic over the recent political instability in the country. So all those states that share border, about 7 of them, please share them food. These were some of the outcomes of the NEC, National Economic Council meeting, presided over today by Vice President Kashim Shettima at the Council Chamber, Presidential Villa, Abuja. There's a lot to that. He said the states are to purchase, I think he said the state are to purchase about 100 bags of rice and beans, among other items. As a matter of fact, it was Governor Babagana Zulum of Borno State that was briefing newsmen immediately after the meeting, and that's how people, the newsmen, got preview of this information. Well, a lot was said. Mr. Darlington said, however, he also said, Senator Obasani said, only 2 billion has so far been given to states instead of the 5 billion approved. More can I take a miss? Small, you go to come. So, Mr. Darlington, let's have you react to that. This is good news, though.
As far as you are concerned.
Is it not good news? Our people are having money.
You mean at this stage in our lives, we are not living and surviving on handout? We are not fighting any war. There is no natural disaster, and they are giving you handout for survival. I have been saying it. The day we get the leadership in Africa and in Nigeria, precious, nobody will complain. Let me tell you what happened during Jonathan. Sincerely speaking, that government was going somewhere with Okonjo-Iweala. The Western world were not happy. I told you that some Americans came here during the economic meltdown, and they came to Okonjo-Iweala specifically to find out how America and UK went down financially, and Nigeria did not feel it. They wanted to find out how she did it. Precious, that was why these people decided that they must remove our bright stars from among us. And I was shouting. I discussed this thing extensively in another platform. Please, we need our first 11 now. Don't allow them to leave Nigeria. Please return our first 11. If we are going for world tournament, you need your first 11 because you are going to meet the best of the best. Nobody listen to me. Look at the economy during that Obasanjo to Jonathan. Some people were managing it. Look at all those people from Aganga to Baton-Naji to Akinwumi Adesina to Okonjo-Iweala. Imagine if all these bright stars were to be in office today. Imagine what would have happened to us. But look at immediately they took over. They brought a French graduate as your Minister of Agriculture. Mention one single thing Awudobe gave us before he left office. Nothing. So this thing has been going on because of what? Bad leadership. Look, if you go details, you will discover that some of these things that they are doing today, the Western world has input. Just give them this now. Don't worry. They will keep quiet after a while. Your economy is being teleguided from outside. I can say that authoritatively. Your economy, even some of these your officials, your leaders, your ministers, they have been teleguided. You must put this person. You must put this person. You must put this person. And you think that you have somebody on seat. You too. You are talking of French colonies. You too, Unko. Is it because Britain is not coming forward? No. There is a proxy war going on in West Africa, and Nigeria is inclusive. Seriously. They are using those they know that will down to their tune to impose them on us. And they are doing it very, very well. If not, why must Nigeria be living on handout? With all we have, for God's sake, why Nigeria on handout? And you say we should be clapping. What is the clap there? After you are finished with the 5 trucks of rice, what happens? Will they give you another one? Remember, it is food though, and it is exhaustible. If one truck will go for one local government, do you have any state in Nigeria?
No, so 5 trucks per state. There is no state that actually has just 5 local governments.
Good. So what you see now. So if you have only 5 trucks per state, mention any state that has 5 local, and to say, okay, let one truck go to one local government. Let us start with. You can see.
So a local government may just get like 50 bags or 20 bags, depending on how many local governments there is.
Is that what you want me to clap for God's sake? Why do you want me to celebrate this type of thing? Is that not an insult?
But Mr. Darlington, for me, it's really not a big deal. My concern is how these things will eventually be shared. We know how things can be done in Nigeria. At the end of the day, maybe those that are also in charge that may end up giving it to their, so that's what my fear is. Will it really get to the poor of the poorest that need this? I was hoping that there was going to be another way that, Mr. Darlington, people can't eat food. People cannot eat food. It's not even a joke. Even those that you think that are doing well, they're not even doing well.
They are not.
It's not even a joke. So, I mean, this would have been a great intervention for people to at least. There are people that I know that have not eaten rice. Mr. Darlington, from before the election, I remember when I opened phone lines here sometime last year, that a particular woman called me and said her children and her have not tasted rice for months. Do you know what they do? That they use gari, put oil, onion, and pepper inside and eat it like rice. That was way before election or before this hardship started. I don't even know if that woman is listening to me right now, where she is and how she's doing. I wish I could help out. Do you understand? She made that call that her children and her, I won't forget that call that day. I don't think I slept well after that call that night. I'm like, oh wow.
This is the one.
So it's like Gary Jollof. You understand, to survive. That was last year, and I don't think the economy was as hard as it was last year as it is right now.
You can imagine what is happening now.
So imagine how many families that cannot even make headway. I mean, yesterday we were talking about how Nigeria ranked second on world malnutrition map, and I'm thinking, are you sure it's just second? Because we just eat for sustenance, including those who you think have money. How many people incorporate all the nutrients that they need to incorporate into their meals? That's really Lagos. Let's begin to take your calls, please, so that we don't bore you with our own take on this conversation.
The money they said is only 2 billion.
They would give the balance. Now it's small now, so they have to see what they did with the 2 billion before they now add another matter to it.
Just take example. Palliative that was donated to Nigeria during COVID-19. You saw what happened to it. You saw that is donated though. It's not from your government. It's not from anybody. Give to your people. Was it not hoarded in warehouses? You don't know how this thing irritates me. Serious, you don't. If you know, you will know that I'm suppressing some things. I'm not joking. I said the greatest regret I have in life is that I did not join the military. I would have been more useful there. I'm not joking, no.
Are you sure you would have been able to fight?
I said I would have been more useful to the military. I'm telling you. You don't know what is going on. It's so painful. Very, very painful. You see things that ordinarily is working seamlessly. Then somebody will just make your life miserable as if you are nobody.
All right, so Lagos, very quickly. In another development, you remember that we said $3 billion, not naira, that's trillions of naira, was borrowed by a Afrexim bank by the NNPC yesterday, of course, with the approval of the federal government to stabilize the naira. So Frank Schreiber, who is an aide to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, says the 3 billion naira oil for cash loan obtained by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. He didn't forget to put that limited in it. He said is a ruse. You know what a ruse is? Is like a trick, a wayo, a 419, a GPT. I don't know how to call it, but that's like, simplifying the English language for you. So it's like a trick, a decoy, a ploy. I don't know. Mr. Darlington, am I correct?
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. You're my second grammarian. I wanted you to help me interpret that English properly. So he said the NNPC...
Just call it a mirage. It does not exist.
No, a wayo exists, but it is a wayo that is an open broad daylight wayo. That's what it's saying.
From the way government put it, it does not exist. That's it. So the
NNPCL secured the crude for cash funding from the Afrexim Export-Import Bank, Afrexim Bank, or African Export-Import Bank rather, Afrexim Bank, to support the naira and stabilize the country's foreign exchange market. Now, here is Shaibu's take on it, and he made this take yesterday. He wondered why the oil corporation would take such a decision when it is now a limited liability company. He said, you're a private company now. Why will you use our oil and now go and borrow money?
Oh, God.
He said, according to the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA, the NNPC is now a private company. So on what ground will a private company use the country's resources to go and borrow money? Okay, that's one thing he said. Then he also said NNPCL plans to force the appreciation of the naira would not only adversely affect the credibility of the federal government. He said for many years, the President Tinubu claimed that he built the economy of Lagos from scratch. That's what he said. He said now, Tinubu's administration claims to have done the same thing by forcing the NNPCL to take a loan of 3 billion naira to defend the naira. He, however, he said, we, however, have it on good authority that this is all a ruse. It is all a wayo. It is all a trick. It is all a game. I don't know. Choose your own, synonym to put there. I have told you the ones that just came to my mind now. He said that this is all a ruse to force the naira to appreciate at the parallel market, an action that will further affect the government's credibility. Schreiber said citizens should not be deceived. He said the president claims to have deregulated the petroleum sector, and yet NNPCL is still determining the price of fuel. So if it is deregulated, why not let the market action take place? Why is NNPC still playing a role in the price of fuel? That's what he's saying. He said he has pegged the price of petrol and yet claims that there is no subsidy. He says subsidy no day again, but you don't peg the price of petrol. So who they pay the one on top? He say Nigerians must not be allowed, must not allow themselves to be deceived by this. He went on and on. Mr. Darlington, your quick reaction before I open the phone lines.
In fact, the precious,
Sir?
infamy has no end under this administration. Seriously, I don't know whether they think all of us are mumu. When somebody has been brainwashed into accepting everything and anything. I asked that question yesterday in another platform. When this thing broke that the NNPC no longer, I say it's a lie. In fact, Tochukwu, their Igbo program, I was there last Monday. And when they say that the government have said that there will be no increment in, I said it is a lie. That with the way the naira is running like a mad cow, that if something is not done to catch it, it will run into the bush and government will be scrambling to catch up with it. So they will do something. They may not do it openly. They will do it through the back door. Tochukwu, if you are listening, is that not what I told you? Is that not what is happening now? Are they not doing it through the back door? I knew it was going to happen. I knew. I don't need to be told. I'm not in the oil industry, but you can read the radar. You can see the handwriting on the wall. Naira is running away with inflation on its own. Fuel price is running away, and you are telling me that there will be no intervention. It's not possible, because if the fuel marketers go and import at the high cost, who will give them the balance? Is it not government? So this 3 billion naira is subsidy in disguise. It's not to cushion the naira effect. No, it is, they are paying subsidy in disguise. If not, pressure, there will be no fuel the next month. If they don't pay marketers, they will not import. They are using that money to cushion the effect of the runaway inflation that is happening now in the oil industry. If they don't pay that money, you will not have fuel next month. So that's what they are trying to run away from.
All right.
Because they have already told us that with subsidy removal, fuel will be everywhere. In fact, we'll be supplying to other nations. The propaganda they told me here, and I was so shocked. Thank God they cannot deceive somebody like me. Every time you are criticizing government, what have they done right? Mention anything that done right just to deceive Nigeria, and you want me to be deceived again, Abi? No, it's not possible. I will always match them bumper to bumper. I said that this will not work because I've seen it. Your refinery is not working. You are not an industrial nation. So how will you match up with the dollar? How? Pressure, what you are suffering today with the dollar scarcity. Remember when it happened? On the 15th of November 2015, that was when this problem happened. Buhari said nobody should pay or withdraw from dollar account. I was wondering, so what is the meaning of all this? With this particular pronouncement, every oil major, all these foreigners, all these embassies, they carted away their money through the border. Ghana must go back. Nobody saw the. Yes, everything dollar. I said, look at these people, oh. They don't even know what is going to happen. With your economy like this, you will need this dollar. Pressure, the following year, that was in 2016, Buhari sent his ministers all over the place to go and be asking investors to come back, to come and invest in Nigeria. I said, look at that. Look at that. Just imagine. What was the reason for that policy? Nobody have told us up to today. You just wake up and took a rational decision. Now you are looking for the dollar. You can see the result. But when we come here and talk, people will not, they will think that you hate. Look, nobody loves Nigeria more than me. I'm not joking. Nobody. If you say you love, come out, let us debate it. What I hate is when people are deceiving me and deceiving everybody and making things difficult. See, these are things that are working somewhere else. Why is it not working in Nigeria? And you say we should be clapping hands for them. Look at all their decisions where it has plunged us into. Look at it. We are getting into a worse situation because after this $3 billion now, Bishop Precious, what happens? No, answer. Please, after is that the only money they are going to borrow? Tinubu said he will not borrow money, but look at him borrowing through NNPC. Tomorrow, they will borrow through another company or even Owando. They will tell Owando, go and borrow money, don't worry. In fact, people don't know what is going on, and it pains me so much.
All right, Lagos, let's open the phone lines now. 0700 903 903 903. This is a number to call, or these are the numbers to call to joining on the conversation. We'll love you to have your say on this conversation, right? 0700 903 903 903. That is 0700 903 903 903. And if you are watching from the diaspora and you'd like to be part of this conversation, you can call the WhatsApp line. Just save the number and call us via WhatsApp. The WhatsApp number is 0700 903 903 9. 0700 903 903 9. Like my chat session on YouTube on my hits is already saddled with so much messages. I don't know where to start from, but let me just gingerly open phone lines first. Hello, good evening to you. All right, I lost it already. Shegu on ECOWAS. Shegu says, Ambassador, yeah, I see you. Fisayo Majikudini says, Iberia is still doing the same to United Kingdom. Everyone must be free. And he says, Biafra, Oduduwa, Arewa. Shegu Ono said, worried or outraged, Lady Precious. I think outraged maybe. Fisayo then says, United Kingdom does have gold, but they have gold deposits in international markets.
Of course.
But they don't get gold for their country.
Oh.
Okay, Shegu Ina says, okay. And Fisai then says, Nigeria gas, the pipeline from Bori will go through the Republic of Niger to Morocco and from Morocco to France. You forgot Algeria because I think I saw Algeria in that tripartite agreement, right? And then you said that the contract has already been signed by the president. It's not Tinubu. I'm not sure Tinubu signed it. I think that agreement was even made in 2022. So it was under Buhari's administration. Shego Ono says America dollar is an international reserve currency, unlike your naira, 100%. And they say only so-called, and you said only so-called cash crops are allowed for the international use only.
Of course.
So how can another country tell you the kind of crop that you can?
I'm telling you.
You can. That is no, Mr. Dallas, you don't get it. Now me get land. Now me go use my mouth chop, but now you go tell me what I go plant for my land.
I'm telling you.
You don't understand. That's what this means.
That is
so
the meaning.
From that man's explanation, it means that if Africans do not plant what the Western world wants them to plant,
they will not
give them grains.
Of course.
And how can we not have our own grains anyway? I don't even understand what's happening.
No,
why don't we have grain reserves?
Bill Clinton brought agua, and people did not study agua properly. They did not. How many times have you sent your yam and your beans and to Europe and America? Were they not turned back?
They'll tell you that they have a lot of chemicals and all that.
Oh, good.
All right. And then Fisayo says, but the junta said they do not want to be part of the deal if the gas. I think that's why France is insisting. Maybe, I don't know. And then Surplus Link says, Precious, good evening. Are you suggesting for government? Mind you, France have citizens, but do we have citizens? Am I not citizens of Nigeria? Talking about the electricity thing. I have to suggest now, do we not need electricity more than France does need our gas? Are you serious? And then he said, Fisayo then says, the money and the rice will only be for some party members. And he says, I remember during Jonathan's government, Nigeria was already a developing economy. Yes, it was.
I'm telling you.
Alongside Malaysia and the rest of them. If I could remember
them.
They
were not happy about it. And I
don't understand how we now dropped from people that were growing to now zero.
Nigerians were gullible to throw away Jonathan. I said, don't throw away the baby and the bathwater. They say I'm a Jonathan man. Look at the economy where it was under Jonathan. Look at this bright stars we had then. Where are they today? Where are they?
Niger Online says, they hail you, Mr. Darlington. Afisa says, do you understand that Nigeria does not have statistics and data for the... Of course, we know that that's a major problem. How you want you share when you don't get statistics? Shego Honor says, the rice will be shared in a warehouse or stored in a warehouse for celebrity parties. Truman Thinker says, I think those tribals that voted are enjoying themselves right now. He says, I just visited Nigeria last week and I'm on my way back to Somalia already. Somalia is like heaven compared to Nigeria. Valentine A says, it is a Nigerian citizen that are stupidly allowed few politicians to be destroying lives and futures because you people don't want to stand up and chase them. What you said a lot. Paul says, good evening, Precious and Darlington. The president will, without thinking, I don't understand what you're saying here, but you know what? I beg to differ in that statement. Okay, so let me quickly run through some WhatsApp messages. Mr. Darlington, our WhatsApp is so full. Yeah, where are we going to start now? People want to finish us. He said the interview was not clear at all. Perhaps the Chihomberry thing I read. I'm sorry, I played.
Go to the internet.
You would see it. So this says Nigeria is still suffering wasteful borrowing that don't impact the economy positively. Now, this government that have not known their fate in the tribunal court is clamoring to borrow billions of dollars to consume again, telling us that it is to boost dollar supply. Still, some people continue to say that the man at the helm of the affairs knows what he is doing and knows how to gather good brains. This one tire me. Instead of talking about productivity and stopping of fuel importation, since we have the crude oil in our land. Well, you said a lot and I understand totally what you're saying. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. Welcome. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, this is Chinedu calling from Baraga.
Chinedu, you're welcome.
My brother, that is I greet you.
No, my brother, well done.
They say what is happening in this country is a terrible thing. This rice now that is given to local government. Is it foreign rice or local government rice?
It's state, not local government. It's state.
State. Each state gets 5 trucks. And Mr. Darlington is telling me that it's about 600 bags in a truck.
Is it harvested in Nigeria or foreign rice?
I have to be Nigerian rice now.
Okay, if it's Nigerian rice, they should monitor it very well. But I'll call home now. I know how many cups they have given them. I'll call my village now.
I never reached now. They just announced them today. Calm down, made it in reach now.
Okay, I'll be calling them. Another thing is that this NNPC, is it a limited liability company?
Of course.
And who owns it? Who owns
Nigeria.
They send Nigerians on paper.
Nigeria.
Yes.
On paper. We have not seen it in the stock market.
It's on paper. I never seen what they have got for this country. And what is our reserve now so far? What do we have now in the reserve?
They say 34 billion.
We don't know how much we have. Since Tinubu has entered now, we don't know how much we have in reserve.
No,
in case of anything.
We have 34.
I want to find out. Thank you very much.
When you remove the money that we are owing these people that the CBN is owing $15 billion. Minus 15 billion out of 34 billion.
Hello, good evening to you.
That is what you have.
Yes, good evening. Welcome. What's your name? Remind us of where you're calling from.
Okay, this is Jonathan from London.
Jonathan, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay, then let me say hi to Mr. Darlington.
He can hear you.
Good evening. Okay, good evening, sir. Let me quickly jump on today's conversation. Let me first of all react to the Niger invasion. I know it's glaring now that the West is desperate now. That they know that the junta in Niger, they don't want to back down, and the only way they can mount pressure is to begin to tell the West African leaders is that if we don't do this, we won't do this. There's pressure among themselves.
Of course.
That's why the pressures keep coming. So, and this is one of the revelations that the West Africa states fought over West African currency. I don't know, maybe you remember, sir.
Of course.
So this.
France
is the one.
France killed it.
Yes. So the West, they are still fighting that this thing will, because you can't be operating in your currency and your economy will not get strong. So they know that if these people policy they are trying to push manifests, we are about to liberate ourselves. So this is one of the biggest problem against the West and the West African leaders now. And going by the pressure of the West African leaders to invade Niger, I'm not seeing that thing going through, because Nigeria will be badly affected.
Thank you.
Okay, let me quickly talk about the NNPC. NNPC is one of the biggest arm of the limited liability company we have as a government agency. I'm sorry to say.
It's okay.
So,
all right, thank you. I appreciate you. That's totally your opinion anyway. All right, hello, good evening to you.
Good evening, my dear.
Yes, yes, sir. Good evening. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, Darlington.
Good evening, no.
I heard what you people are saying. Let me start this way. You see, the situation we find ourselves in this country currently, it is not new to Igbos. Igbos have been suffering it since after the Civil War. But now, this is the time that it is going round.
Abi.
God knows what he is doing.
Exactly.
Maybe Nigeria has their secret agenda. The secret agenda has been coming to be open now.
Exactly.
It is going round.
Exactly.
Then, coming on the foreigners, do you think that they will just close their eyes, allow you to come and settle down and be good in their economy? There has been the other side colonizing Africa again in a higher way. And that is the problem we are facing in this part of the nation. P2B is the right man. They knew, but they will not allow him to be there. Because when he gets there, all this mess, he will clear it. He has been with them. He knows like them. He is a learned human being like them. Unlike what they are going out right now, parading themselves. What do they know? You put up policy today. Tomorrow you will forget what you said. And you have not even think, how will it affect you the other way? You will just wake up in the morning, put up one policy. Before afternoon, you will start cancelling it. It shows that you don't know what you are doing. You are just beating about the bush. Let me tell you the truth. Africa has turned to the scam, especially this nation called Nigeria. Everything about it is a scam. God bless you all. Let me hold it this way.
Okay. It is not me you're leaving all these bombastic things for like this and you're running away. Franca from Iba says, evening, Sis Precious and Mr. Darlington. Hand power to help lessen subsidy issue. Sis P is good news for APC members. So they have already started sharing bags of rice to themselves. Like in Iba LCDA today, we saw them doing it. It will be all right. That's what you said. And then this says, this says 5 trucks of rice for every state. Chai, who is advising this government? This is funny. This is a pure means of stealing our public fund. African leaders in quest for political power enslaved themselves. We are not becoming independent soon. Colonialism continues in Africa, but only learned people understand that. Yusuf from Ijego sent in that message. And then he says, good evening, Precious and Mr. Darlington. My name, I said that is my man of the year. Once I hear your voice like this, I'll be just laughing and my body will be sweeting me. I'll add that one for you as Jara. Precious, please, let them not come and deceive us, because that money and rice and beans you heard is for the politicians. He said, expect your brother or your uncle belonging to government before it will reach your hand. The reason why they come out to tell it's by praising them so that they will say that they've done a good job. Abi, that's what you're trying to say for Nigeria. Okay, all right, so let me rest my case. And he says, good evening, Precious. This is Joy Musa from Idi Araba, the woman that made mention of her. All right, okay. And then, no, I don't think. Then he says, good evening, VOP. Using force military to Niger or in Niger is going to bring something else to others county, including Nigeria. He said the African presidents can do the right thing and say the truth. Africa can never suffer. We have resources. Africa can make us, being in the house and enjoying ourselves. Alan Gentle from Ilasama just sent in that message. Say, we'll fix it up for house, chop our money for this Africa. Say, we'll get too much money to use, enjoy ourselves like this. Good evening, Precious and Mr. Darlington. Another Muhammad again as information minister. Imagine Festus K in that aviation ministry. And English in good speak there. As for Wike, the master wants to go and grab 35% for APC in FCT and Tinubu in FCT. Okay, he said compensation galore. Tinubu kept the petroleum ministry for himself, same way Buhari did and made history as the worst. You should be feeling sorry for me. I feel like crying when you guys bombard me with these kind of messages. And then you said NNPC matter is huge and it can only take a non-corrupt president to deal with them. Gosh, Emperor sent in that message. Okay. Good evening, Sister Precious and Mr. Darlington. Very simple. They are stylishly taking back the subsidy. Egba mi yo. Tony from Ijeoma. You guys be coming down now. Okay, and this says, good evening, Precious. Mark from Agege. If you remember very well, I made a comment on the NNPC borrowing money to fight the dollar, and I asked if NNPC is now the CBN doing monetary policies, and you gave an explanation. Is the NNPC now a public corporation after being converted to a private liability company? It's all a ruse, like you said yesterday. God will not come down from heaven to help us. And so you talk, saying that we go help ourselves. Is NNPC not a private company? So how can you borrow $3 billion? Mr. Darlington, calculate that money in Naira. I will be turning you on behalf of Nigeria to subsidize the forex. Are they now doing the work of the CBN? That's what this other person said, but he didn't say your name. Henry from Ekotuna says, how many people will get the bags of rice? Two. Precious, the people in charge will corner side, as the COVID did too. But the good thing is that it's not every state that is even an APC state, and this is supposed to go through the governors, right? So I mean, if the ones that are APC states go through the governors, you could say that, okay, so this will go to APC members because it's from the government. But if, for instance, states that are not APC states, gets this, I want to believe that it to go through each governor, right? Mr. Darlington, am I not correct? Because the 36 states governors make up the National Economic Council now, Abi?
But now, so...
but the states that don't have APC can still enjoy now. That's the thing, Nabi.
Enjoy what?
Enjoy the bags of rice. Hello, good evening.
5 derica of rice.
Hello.
Good evening, Precious.
Yes,
good evening,
welcome.
Precious,
welcome.
And, Mr. Darlington.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to contribute into this program.
Go ahead.
Yeah, for the issue of going to invade Niger, I believe that African leaders or ECOWAS leaders per se is really compromised, and they are not patriotic to Africans. It's better we say it open and close. Because I watched one interview today on one of the stations. One of African, I think her name is Dr. Arekana. She said it all. She said that if we are talking about coup in Niger, about the coup peace in Niger, we should also talk about the coups that France has been doing to their former colonies. She did mention 3 things, which I would like our listeners and viewers in YouTube to also. They can also go and watch it. I think it's in YouTube also. Because she asked 3 good questions. She said that France has been committing a lot of coups in Africa, politically and economically.
Did you watch this from the beginning? If you did listen to this from the beginning,
we have played it now.
I said that, and that wasn't in an interview today. I'm not aware if she had an interview today. That particular interview was a long time ago.
Yeah, some radio stations
played that back today.
She had it. she had interview today in I don't want to mention the station.
No, you can mention. It's fine. It's okay.
Arise News. Arise.
Okay.
News.
So that means she may have repeated the things she said in the previous interview.
Maybe
because the recording we had is from her previous interviews.
They tracked her to.
No, she had interview today.
Okay, that's great.
It's today's interview.
Okay.
So she was mentioning about the coups they have been pushing through in Africa for years.
Yes, we are aware of that.
Which has caused debt, which has caused economic hardship, which has caused pain on Africa. That any African leader who will rise to say you want to go and fight the coups in Niger should also give us the reason why they allow what is happening in Africa to continue. So on that issue, I think the woman did a very good job. She was honest, she was at point and everything.
But after talking, how far?
And again,
she cannot force them to do what they have to do now.
You have forgotten that France is the second home of your president.
We should know the real enemies of Africa, at least.
We know them. We know them.
All right, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Bye. You're right. Hello, good evening to you. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening. My name is George from Haraba.
Can we? Hello, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening. Welcome.
Mr. Darlington, good evening, sir.
Good evening, my brother.
Please, I want to say something. We remember the time of campaign, all these things that we are saying now. You remember the time of campaign? Your dear president was asking, I've been a statistic we go chop.
I wonder.
And the nation, but many the people that people regard as the politicians and the son among them, including one of your ministers. They were laughing. How can you run a business, common shop, without statistics?
I wonder.
Now this is the simple arithmetic. At age of 65. If you are a rich man, you should be thinking of handing your business over to your son. And if it's a very big business, you think of other directors and other people that will manage it under him because you are going for a retirement. At age of unknown age, you are voting a man for a president, and we are complaining. They will kill all of us before they go to grave. May God forgive them.
Calm down.
You mean they wouldn't want to go down alone?
All right, Henry from Ikoto, let me go back to your message. I think message reading is even safer for me now. How many people? Okay, Henry from Ikoto, I think I've taken it. How many people would a bag of rice be enough for, right? And then this says, Livino said, good evening, Precious and Co. We are not poor. We are made to believe that we are poor by the West. They look for and hoist rulers in Africa that are known to have questionable characters and use them to perpetrate that lie and do their bidding. That is why all of them combined to crush Biafra, which they saw as possible Japan and light in Africa, that would have shunned the black man that we can. They gave gun to the worst of us to lord it over the best of us, so they can continue to subjugate and exploit the rest of us to their own economic advantages. What are you going to do? What are we going to Niger to fight for? What is our interest? What is it that is happening in Nigeria that has not happened in Nigeria? It is happening. If it happens here, it becomes an internal affair. Well, you said a lot, Livinos. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And this says, good evening, Precious. Please tell your guest he does not love Nigeria. He is only bragging. May God deliver him, Mr. Benjamin from Apapa. They say you don't love Nigeria. Good evening, Precious and Mr. Darlington. Mr. Darlington's hatred for Tinubu is very concerning. He needs to address things on a neutral perspective. Okay. And then he says, good evening, P. Precious, subsidy is back, except those who out of ignorance unnecessary attack Barrister Darlington for criticizing the many evils of this government, that the ignorant of this reality and other persons in Nigeria today would understand that subsidy is back. More so, that's coming from the back door will confuse them even the more. As far as distractions, not contribution, It's a comedy. Godfrey from Surulere sent in that message. And then he says, Precious, my brother Darlington is saying is for we to get it right. Let the truth from the heart be applied. The government must have this nation at heart. Then this nation can move forward. And it's high time we rose up to tell the government the truth, no matter our antics and tribal thoughts. We need to say truth because it will set us free. So I did heaven, they watch on like this. Uchi, no worry, don't heaven go soon tire you, go soon come down and come join us here. Good evening, Precious. America is exchanging our precious resources for dollars that they freely print. It's high time Africans resolve to gold as means of exchange for our mineral resources. Dr. Chris from Ondo State sent in that all the way from Ondo State. I appreciate you, sir. Senator from Isolo says, Chai, so only 5 trucks for each state now. Wow, this sentiment for these APC members who know who. He said another thing, but me, I'm not going to read that in where you talk, eh? All right, make us see what I go for enter phone call, Sha. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. Welcome. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Your line is not clear. Are you there?
Good evening.
Well, your line is not clear. You can try to call us back. The line is really bad.
Precious,
really
do you remember when Buhari went to China and said they are going to convert our naira to yen so that we'll be doing business?
Let's just take this call first. Hello, good evening to you. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Hello, my name is Ben.
Oh, hi Ben. Good evening. Welcome.
Good evening.
Yeah. Where are you calling us from?
Yeah, I'm calling from USA.
All right, go ahead.
Yes, I'm calling regards to what is going on in Nigeria. It is very, very disappointing that a lot of Nigerians, when these politicians, when they have another election or campaign, you see people, up to now I see some comment and people supporting what is going on, supporting most of them. It's very, very disappointing that every people are dying and suffering, and some people are still there being so tribalistic and saying, Tinubu is doing well, is okay. I see people say that Nigerians, and until we start changing our mindset, Nigeria will never get better. It doesn't matter if Tinubu leaves that seat. Until we start calling a spade, until we start saying things how it is, Nigeria will never change.
Hey, wait. All right. Good evening, Precious. How long are we going to eat the rice? Please, we need something for long term. Long term, you mean? You don't read for here. Lucien from Egbeda sent in that message. Hey, no, that you're not today with this your encyclopedia used to send to me. Precious, good evening. I am tired of this country called Nigeria. Emma from Onireke. Where is that? All right, appreciate you. Babeji from Ocean says, Precious and Darlington, Ona, well done. Oh, may God bless you both for me. Please, my take is it's on the day the ministerial appointment. So the only person that can be considered as fit for his job is David Umahi. All others are appointed just purely for compensation because none of them really know or understand the jobs given to them. The APC government is full of propaganda. Nigerians must have been taking, you said a lot. Thank you, Babiji. Well done. A book of lamentation you open like this. Hi, Precious. Lovely show. Keep it up, guys. Hello, guys, in the studio. As for me, I don't have leader in this. Maybe candidate. Hey. Oh, yeah, now stop. Now, you guys, don't stop doing me like this. Write something I can read now. And then this says, Precious and Mr. Darlington, do you know I'm most times confused if this country will ever have solution to its marriage of problems? You say it is a ruse, and I call it a horse. NNPCL collection crude oil for our money. I mean, collecting money for our crude oil in advance or whatever in the name of loan. Is it not akin to the continuous pumping of fund into power sector, which they claimed to have been fully commercialized? This country is fast becoming an albatross, so difficult to handle. Whatever they do, let them flood the market with affordable food stuffs, cause any handout they do will only end in the hands of politicians and their cohorts, like it happens during COVID-19 era. Now we house now they go loot Kolmotam. Anele from Tony Anele from Ijeoma sent in that message. And then this says Prince Prince Femi Magic Kudumi says, Precious, I hope you're good. Point of correction, Mr. Darlington, that says Nigeria is supposed to be the giant of Africa. No, Nigeria is already a giant of Africa over decades. Secondly, Darlington says nobody likes Nigeria more than him. Yeah. That's a big lie by him. From the pit of hell. I love Nigeria more than you, and I can prove it to you. Please stop fooling us. He said to prove it, Mr. Darlington, you don't love Nigeria because from your comments, one can denote that you don't love Nigeria because your prayer is that the military coup should take over in Nigeria for you to have said if Niger succeed military, it will be Nigerian's turn next. That's propaganda. Please stop saying what you don't know. Hey, wait, Mr. Darlington, Prince Magic came to you. He came very prepared.
I think it's from. I think it's not Jibo side.
So this says Chidi Okoko says, "Good evening, Sister Precious and Darlington. If an NPCA is limited liability company, who are the directors? And again, where do they remit their huge proceeds when it was said some time ago that they are remitting money to the CBN? What is the condition of our reserve?" You see, still now, ordinarily direct purchase of our oil and fuel return, we still don't even have records of that. Yeah, and NNPCN brokered that deal. Abi na lie. So,
even this one they did.
So there's a lot about the NNPC that is just like the more you look, the less you see. It's not too much like that in the open like that. You just be looking at it. It's a mass that there is no equation to solve it. But then, well, we move. And then this message says, oh dear. This message says, "Hi Precious, this is the interview Arikana did today on Arise TV. Unfortunately, I can't play that. I appreciate you for sending it." And then this says, "You are not reading my message. Oh, I'm not reading your message well."
Write it well now.
Well, I'm reading with rush. Do you know how many messages I have to read? Venomous says, "Good evening, P. I want you to know that most Nigerians are lacking deep thinking due to political poverty. Politicians will always divide us through ethnic, religious sentiments. Nigeria is a nation, as a nation, is a disaster under these government." Oh, you even bring witches and wizards and come inside. Witches and wizards, we don't forget their matter since. You bring and come. And you want me to read this message? Well, let me go back to my phone lines, Joe. Hello, good evening to you. Hey, who are you? Obi Daddy,
my brother.
Hello, too much.
How are you?
Nah, so bad you.
Darlington, I want to give one proverb to explain to Precious. As an old man, we talk with proverb. They say that they took 3 billion and they have removed subsidy. Person will buy monkey, monkey. Go buy dog. Now the thing when they squat 90 days.
Yes. She never go.
You know.
Yes, now he
did the same subsidy, so they can't deceive us.
Abi?
And for somebody that said that you are not a true Nigerian, let that person tell me where he invested in this country outside Lagos State.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you very much.
Even some of them are living in my house.
All right, so this message is for you, Mr. Darlington. It says, please tell Mr. Darlington that he doesn't know anything about micro and macroeconomics, fiscal policy, and tax. He knows sabi anything about them. He said more so, Mr. Darlington doesn't even love Nigeria. Yes. He's an enemy of Nigeria. Though sometimes some of the things he says is true, shao, but most times he drops trash into your radio program, making your radio station to be a dumping refuse. Please, Precious, stop inviting this man. He doesn't know how to talk. Mr. Darlington, they say you know sabi talk. Stop coming here. A man from First Stack, I'm not talking. You have no right for response in that. I don't off your mic, honorable. I've off it. A man from First Stack says 86 days since sworn in. What a roller coaster ride. In a few days, they will have to face Nigerians with a new script in communication of 100 days in office. My name is Precious, so I'm just waiting to hear their own description of what Nigeria have been through these years and see if they will use the second Niger bridge again as brainwashing soup this time. It's obvious these ministers are strategically positioned to own the economy like that of Lagos. You guys. Agbadeoki Odo LCD they are sharing rice today. I sent someone there as requested, but the person I sent later came back and said that government is joking, that he saw rice tied in small nylon bags, you mean? Well, he said nylon here though, but I understand. He told me that he didn't, that they don't do it. John Bosco from Mayor sent in that message. Oh wow! And then if 5 trucks carrying 36 bags, no, 5 trucks is actually 600 bags of rice each to every state, usually 180 bags. No, it's actually 600 bags. So that's about 3,000 bags for 5 of them, right? They say, what's the population of each state and what's the population each person can get? It's time this palliative is just, invitation for more hunger and poverty. Emeka sent it. Emeka, you know what? You have plenty, billions, trillions, gazillion, let me sound like children, a gazillion grains of rice in a bag. You understand? By the time you divide that gazillion grains, it surely would go round. Even if it means like 5 grains or 10 grains around, it will surely go round. Don't you get it? All right. And a corporation, they make rice full pot. And it says, the precious democracy is a game of majority. If truly the military junta have the support of the Nigerian people, like some Nigerians are saying here, let them test the popularity at the poll instead of taking over by force. Nobody should blackmail West of taking over Niger resources and giving excuse that the president is dancing to the tune of the West. Mr. Darlington should tell me how military are doing in those countries. That's what he said. That you should tell him how the military is doing in those countries. And then what did you say again? And Mr. Darlington, I said you don't have rights for response. Don't worry, your mic is off. And he said, all right. And he said Darlington should tell, And he said they have taken that the countries that they've taken over, how are they doing so far? That's what you mean. And are they doing well? He said your answer is no. Africa can't rescue themselves until they are under one umbrella, which is democracy. Darlington should leave ECOWAS to fight their fight. Olu from Badagry sent in that message. All your customers are meeting you this morning. Please read our message completely. Which one is that one? Okay, so he said, please guys in the studio. As for me, we don't have. I'm not gonna read them. Why you go tell me? Why you go write this kind to tell me? They command me to read them. You want to put me in trouble? No, now. Precious, tribalism have eaten deep into this country. Can you see some people suffering and attacking Mr. Darlington? That's what you said. Okay, and then this says, good evening, Precious Honorable. You don't tell me honorable, you give me portfolio. And Mr. Darlington say, can somebody apply the rule himself without anybody interference? I'm tired of complaining, please. I need feedback. God bless you, Casey from heaven. Hey, Casey, I can't help your matter, unfortunately. Yeah, and then okay, this looks more like a forwarded message, and unfortunately I can't take that, but let me see if I can take this message. Okay, so this says, good evening, Precious and Mr. Darlington. My name is Mrs. Ogechi Uzodima. My take is that the palliative is for the politicians. Secondly, how can you give Minister of Aviation to Barrister Keyamo, and what does he know about aviation? That's what you said as a lawyer. And he says, yet we are told that the youths are the future of this country. Until all these grandfathers leave that seat, nothing good happen. Waiting you talk with that, All right, so let me quickly go back to phone lines very briefly, or perhaps just run through those ministerial stuffs again. Mr. Darlington, we've been saying we're going to look at some of those refurbished and rejigged ministries. So there are about 10 new ministries, or 10 not just new ministries created, but some of them also modified, right? So one is Marine and Blue Economy. So this one, for the new ministry created by the president, Bumi Tunji Ojo is the minister. The Marine and Blue Economy involves the economic activities associated with oceans and seas. And so he said the World Bank defines the blue economy as a sustainable use of ocean resources to benefit economies. Nigeria is blessed with a lot of water. You understand? But yes, especially Lagos, not just Lagos, we have the Niger Delta areas too. So what have we been doing with the water around us? So I think so. You think it's apt to create this ministry, Mr. Darlington?
It is not apt to, because we don't even have the technology to harness them. We don't.
Okay.
Do you know that Chinese people come all the way from their country to come and take away fish from Bakassi, where you have what's it called, Bight of Guinea. Are you aware?
All right, so Mr. Darlington, let me quickly run through this ministry. So Tunji Ojo, who's the minister designate in charge of this ministry, studied electrical and electronics engineering. Somehow there'll be water engineering part of it, because now he's dealing with Mami Waters. And then he studied at Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, and studied electronics and communication engineering at the University of North London and now London Metropolitan University. He was former member of the House of Representatives. He worked in committees such as, I think, National Security and Intelligence, Local Content, Gas Resource, Northeast Development Commission, and some others. But let's also look at another one. Now we have purely Ministry of Tourism.
From what you said now, please, does that man fit into that place?
Just calm down now. Should be able to read them out to you. We have another ministry created, Ministry of Tourism. So the president also appointed Lola Ade John as the minister. Now, this is like a novel ministry, So the last time we had Lai Mohammed take care of communication culture. I think, was that part of it? Was it communication culture and tourism? But so this time around, we have tourism as a new ministry. I know that countries make millions of dollars with tourism, even African countries. I mean, that's why Seychelles is a big deal. So I am hoping we have a lot of, some of the, in fact, Mr. Darlington, some of the tourist sites we have in Nigeria, no road to go there. I don't even want to talk of say light, no day, no road. So you just go there. So I am hoping that this ministry would, or the minister in charge of this ministry would actually look into it. Ade John is a banking and tech expert. She studied computer science at the University of Ibadan, Nigeria. Ade John is currently the principal consultant of Novature Business Technology Consultant, a company she founded in 2014. So I do hope that she can, put all her might in the tourism sector, even though I don't see anything about tourism in her portfolio here, but I do hope she can take care of it. Another one is arts, culture, and creative economy. So these are like detachment from that information. I don't know if you noticed, because arts, information, culture, and also I think they were together then. So these are like detachments. No, but they detach them so that they can function effectively, right? So he said the ministry combines three aspects. The culture sector was merged with information in the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. Remember that, with Lai Mohammed heading that. So now the president has now, created the economy to blend with the culture, to be headed by Hannatu Musawa. Hannatu now, that brilliant, lady. So art deals with the application of human creative skills. Of course, we already know. So Hannatu Musawa has the task of managing this particular ministry. She holds a degree in law from the University of Buckingham in the United Kingdom, and took postgraduate masters in legal aspects of marine affairs from the University of, I would have said she would have been in charge of the blue economy, the blue waters, but then she did from the University of Aberdeen. Musawa worked as the deputy spokesperson for the deputy director of public affairs at the All Progressives Congress APC. So she was more like she spoke a lot. She was outspoken a lot. One beautiful northern lady. So gas resources is another one. So this one was pulled out from petroleum industry, right? So the Ministry of Gas Resources has been separated from petroleum resources. Nigeria is ranked 8th among countries with the biggest gas reserves. Exactly. So there is a high expectation that the country will maximize it for its economic purpose. And that's the reason why I raised that issue I raised about, using it for light. Why do we not have light when we have so much gas reserve? So Nigeria, according to report, comes after the United Arab Emirates, UAE, and with natural gas reserves of 5.85 trillion cubic meters. So Ekpo has been appointed as the Minister of State for Gas Resources. Minister of State, not Minister. So you remember that we're silent. There's been silent about Minister of Gas and Minister of Petroleum. So apparently the president is heading to those two positions, because what we have is the Minister of State for this post. So he is a Director General of the Akwa Ibom Democratic Forum. He's expected. He's a politician, of course, that he's former senatorial seat candidate. He was a former senator. He's expected to work in the implementation of policies passed by the Tinubu administration that are directed at making Nigeria a gas-based country. I was actually looking forward to seeing like a chemical engineering or petroleum engineering certification and all of that. So steel development is another one. You used to have mines and steels and all of that together, but now steel development is a different ministry. And Shuaibu Awudu heads this portfolio. Yeah, so Shuaibu, the son of former governor of Kogi State, Abubakar Audu, has an impressive background as an executive director with Stanbic IBTC, an MBA from the University of Oxford, and as an MSc in International Securities and Investment Banking. Investment, banking, and steel. Well, steel is a form of investment. I've been talking like that, Mr. Darlington. Then we move to finance and coordinating economy. So you know that Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala was so finance and coordinating economy, and of course we know the person that we give this. So during Jonathan's era, yes, the current Director General World Bank, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, was in this ministry. So right now the president has also, but during Buhari tenure, he did not recognize such, so he just did finance on his own then. So, however, the president. The present president has thought to do the needful. So Wale Edun is the person who's in charge of this particular ministry. Edun has an impressive background in economics, public finance, international finance, merchant banking, and corporate finance at national and international levels. He's a founder of, well, I don't want to, go about his personal businesses. So he's also a health, he's done quite a lot, really. So this, it looks very well like a round peg in a round hole, because it's someone who's grounded in finance. So I do look forward to them doing great things in our finance and our economy, especially since this got to do with not just finance, but also handling of the economy. So I do look forward to him also pulling the Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala wonders, especially now the economy daily needs that. Another one is health and social welfare. So we used to have Ministry of Health, but now we added social welfare to Ministry of Health. And yes, and we have Professor Ali Pate as person who's in charge. He's a physician and politician. He's also a professor of the practice of public health leadership in the Department of Global Health and Population at Harvard University. Pate formerly served as the Global Director for Health, Nutrition and Population and Director of the Global Financing Facility for Women, Children and Adolescents, GFF, at the World Bank Group. So he's a former Minister of State for Health. He was former Minister of State for Health, but now he's not the minister in charge of this. So aviation and aerospace development, this is where we give to our brother Festus Keyamo. And so, before he used to be Minister of Aviation, but now, and before SAFE, there was a time that we had Minister of Aviation work together with Minister of Transportation, because it was all, means of transportation. But now we have aviation and aerospace development. So we're hoping that we'll do more wonders with our aerospace now that we added that cliche, as it were. And it's headed by Festus Keyamo, who, by the way, is a senior advocate of Nigeria, and he's a legal luminary, if I have to say that. And we're just wondering, the last position he held was Minister for State for Labor. So we're wondering how he would function. And this one of the things people are saying, is it just for compensation, or, how much knowledge does he have in this field?
Himself and Dele Alake.
All right. Very, very quickly, let me run through this. Another one is youth development. We didn't used to have properly youth development. It used to be sports and youth development or something like that. But now we have youth development because, previous administrations had sports and youth, incorporated, but this time around, the presidency decided to, remove youth totally. Perhaps because he had said that he will ensure that he incorporates a lot of youth and do things that will favor the youth. And Abubakar Momo, heads this particular ministry. Now, the Youth Development Ministry is expected to focus on optimal utilization of Nigerian youth for national pride across the globe. It is estimated that 60% of Nigerian population is under the age of 25 and larger than any African country at all. So Abubakar Momo has been appointed as the Minister of Youth. He is a civic engineer and he's a politician who served twice as a member of House of Representatives representing Esako Federal Constituency in Edo State. So I'm wondering, is he youthful enough to even be the Minister of Youth? Because I've seen analysis that's saying that you're creating Ministry of Youth, but this person now, the person will be youth gone like that now. So they will have humanitarian affairs and poverty alleviation. I don't want to call about I don't want to mention what happened in the previous administration. So now that we have this ministry, we have Edu heading this ministry, and we are looking at she doing wonders. Betta Edu used to be the national women leader of the APC. So Betta, she's from Cross River State, and she was Cross River State Commissioner for Health until her resignation in 2022. She's also the national chairman of the Nigerian Health Commissioners Forum. That means her field is purely on health. She has a postgraduate diploma in public health for developing countries from the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, a master's degree in public health in developing countries from the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, and a doctor of public health from Taxila American University. So she is into health, or she's been, into health almost all her life, but now humanitarian affairs and poverty alleviation. Maybe, from her church mind as a health person, she should be able to handle this ministry very well. Mr. Darlington, let me leave you. I don't know why I want to preempt you, but let me leave you to see what you have to say very quickly.
No, the thing is that, like I said before we even started, the taste of the food is in the eating. It's not enough to appoint people based on your own sentiment and political calculations. But can the job be done? That is the issue here. Like Nwike as a FCT minister, you know that some time ago, Tinubu was begging the tribunal that, or appealing to the tribunal that they should allow him to do the rerun with Atiku. So apparently he's thinking of a rerun, and Abuja was a very contentious issue. So he was thinking that Nwike will replicate what he did in Rivers in Abuja for him. That is the way I look at it too, because from a governor to a minister, then to where they put him now, the Nwike that I know wouldn't have accepted that. He was looking for a bigger minister.
Let's quickly talk to someone. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, Promise.
Precious.
Precious.
It's okay. Welcome.
I greet you, and I greet Promise in absent.
Thank you.
And I greet my darling thing.
Mr. Ola, welcome.
No, I've added to my name.
Okay. What's your name now? Ola Darlington.
Akpabiako.
What does that mean?
My name now. Akpabiako, that is my name now.
Okay. You are entitled to it.
Okay.
Yes, Akpabiako. Ola. I sent message of prayer to your email. I don't know if you got it.
No, I did not. Any prayer you want to send to me, send it well. How can you send prayer that will not receive? I'm in their need of prayers. Please send prayers that can be received. In fact, Nigerians all need prayers right now.
Okay.
Send prayers.
Okay.
Send to Darlington's email too. If I don't see, Darlington will see.
Okay, Mr. Ala, go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right. Do you know, Precious, since last week, my love to you is high now. You know why?
Why?
You know why?
No, sir.
I reported you to my daughter in Washington last week.
Okay.
What do I say? Okay. I sent it to her, your show. I said, this lady working for federal government. My daughter said, why do you say that? Because she's a journalist too. I said, okay, go and play the show. When she played it, she said, lady is doing a marvelous job. She's a professional journalist. I said, oh, okay. Since then, my love to you was 60.
So you did not believe that I was professional. You just thought I was supporting government until your daughter told you otherwise.
Mr. Lai, she's attacking me here. She's attacking me. I've said it too.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lan. Many thanks to your daughter. I'll be looking forward to also hearing her calling, once in a while.
So, the love to you, I added 30%, which make it 90. I could have give you 100. I can't share my love to you and Darlington.
So Darlington has 100. My own will be 90. It's okay. It's okay.
Darlington has 110.
Oh,
hey!
Thank God, please.
No problem. The good thing is that I am the barrack. Darlington is a soldier. So soldier go, soldier come. Barrack remain. No problem. I did here.
Okay.
No wahala.
Okay.
And this is coming from international, not Nigeria.
Go ahead.
Okay. I pray for Darlington to give him more strength to be answer you, to be attacking other people.
Exactly.
Whoever says not doing a good job, those people are biased.
Exactly.
Look, Precious.
Sir.
So they are sending truck with 600 bags of rice,
yes,
right?
For each state.
Okay. I hope my family will get like a olodo rice each.
Yes,
or
now.
one
So it's not only rice, so there is also maize. Corn is an integral part of our meal in Nigeria because we do all the, the ogi, the
to add my comment, to add my something. You know what I want to add with it?
Go ahead.
I sit down here, I dey laugh. Whoa.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you for calling us. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. All right, let me see if I can quickly run through some messages. Our message is so full. Oh my goodness. Which I will use and read all of them. Andrew Fanjo says, if Mr. Darlington doesn't love Nigeria, he shouldn't have honored your invitation to discuss pressing issues about the country. In fact, he is very passionate about this country and wants it to work. Hence, his constant voicing out on national issues. Also, his criticisms about President Tinubu is very apt, as it would put him on his feet. Those who claimed they love Mr. President but aren't criticizing him are the greatest enemies of the country. They are sycophants.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
And then this says, this is the problem I am having. Why would you be in trouble for airing the view of the dissatisfied citizens? My dear brother, you can put your view down in a good language, in a language that is media friendly. Do you understand? If they know they fear, make them non-regulator now. I am not blaming you, the presenter. Well, you said a lot. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Precious. In fact, it's because of this reason that I want to be doing a Facebook Live every day. So that, because Facebook is social media, so we can analyze all of these issues and say our mind on all of these issues, without you saying, oh, I'm gagging you, I'm controlling you, right? But you still be professional, you promise. Precious, can tell me what can you tell me what household, when you're building its foundation, so the foundation that your Mr. President laid is confirmed error during inauguration, please, why is MC Olomo, why he can't be minister of all right. And he says, let people in leadership try let people in leadership try Nigerian citizens with this stirring of food and money, whether they like it or no way. Nigerians want palliative that can last and better the economy by emphasizing more on productivity, building of refineries and power supplies. So not by this handout. That's what you mean, right? And Precious says, and this says Precious and Darlington, this Minister of Justice and Attorney General for the Federation doubles as the lead counsel for APC at the of course, we know him now. We know that now. He's the same person who's the lead counsel. So why is the media quiet about this? Should this not be front pages of newspaper? Remy, what do you want the media to do? Shepe is who, the person that is paying the piper that will dictate it to you. Is it not somebody you're working with that can tell you who, the person that is doing the job that will tell you who he can work with? If he thinks his lead counsel is the best to head the this thing, let it head now. But it is when fairness and justice is not done that we will not complain, because we shout, oh, maybe that's why you put your own person there. But for now, let's allow him to work with the person he says he can work with. Abi, oh, all right, Lagos, let's take a little break, and when we come back, our step down conversation, Mr. Darlington, guess what? So Naira Marley visited NDLEA, and then he did he even addressed Nigerians and told Nigerians to stop doing drugs and doing all that. And everybody's like, of everybody that will advise us in this life, you are the one. As a matter of fact, some people have already jumped on that conversation. Tonto DK could not even hold her mind. She came all out on Naira Marley, even tagged NDA. If when I get my money, can't test me for drug. After allowing this kind of person, associate with you guys. Should it really be a big deal? That's a step down, Lagos. After this break, we're coming back. Stay with us.
Are you looking for the perfect getaway?
Look no further than the luxurious accommodations at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, Lagos, number 42, Muritala Muhammad International Airport Road, Lagos.
Relax and unwind in a beautifully appointed rooms featuring all the amenities you need for a comfortable stay.
Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, our attentive staff is here to ensure that your everyday need is met. We also offer complimentary pickup and drop-off from the Lagos airport.
Take advantage of our state-of-the-art fitness center, outdoor pool, and enjoy a delicious meal at our on-site restaurant.
With stunning views, world-class service, and a prime location, Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, Lagos is the perfect choice for your next vacation or business trip.
So, why wait? Book your stay today and experience ultimate in comfort and luxury at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel.
For bookings and reservations, please call 0815-8003-333 or 0815-7003-333. You can visit our website at airportgoldentuliphotel.com.
Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, where luxury meets comfort.
Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah, we are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafday Light Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Preseno's digital mixers and studio equipment, Crosswell workstations and keyboards, Fender guitars, Mapex drums, Ashdown bass combos, just to mention but a few. We offer flexible payment plan handled by our financial department with 24/7 customer care support system. You can visit our website on www.iruka.com to avoid buying fake products. You can also visit our showroom at number 36 Lagos International Airport Road beside Golden Tulip Hotel. Iruka, never settle for less. The award-winning pizza in the US is now here in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Romeo, the pizza champions, and cold berry ice cream, delights in every scoop. Visit any of our outlets and feel the rich taste from the pizza champions and cold berry ice cream at 11 Road by First Avenue, Festac Town, 28 Adenira Ogunsanya Street, Surulere, 13 Admiralty Way, Lekki Phase 1. Romeo's Pizza and cold berry ice cream. Romeo, the pizza champions.
Are you looking for the perfect getaway?
Look no further than the luxurious accommodations at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, Lagos, number 42, Murtala Muhammad International Airport Road, Lagos.
Relax and unwind in a beautifully appointed rooms featuring all the amenities you need for a comfortable stay.
Whether you're traveling for business or pleasure, our attentive staff is here to ensure that your everyday need is met. We also offer complimentary pickup and drop-off from the Lagos airport.
Take advantage of our state-of-the-art fitness center, outdoor pool, and enjoy a delicious meal at our on-site restaurant.
With stunning views, world-class service, and a prime location, Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, Lagos is the perfect choice for your next vacation or business trip.
So, why wait? Book your stay today and experience ultimate in comfort and luxury at Airport Golden Tulip Hotel.
For bookings and reservations, please call 0815-8003-333 or 0815-7003-333. You can visit our website at airportgoldentuliphotel.com.
Airport Golden Tulip Hotel, where luxury meets comfort.
Lagos, you are welcome back. 90.3 Voice of the People FM. That's where you are. So reactions have continued to trail Naira Marley's visit to the NDLEA. So there was a photo posted on the official platform of the NDLEA. Chairman with the caption, photo caption 1, Chairman Chief Executive Officer of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Brigadier General Mohammed Buba Marwa, retired, with music star Naira Marley when the artist paid a visit to the national headquarters of the agency in Abuja to declare support for the war against drug abuse on Thursday. Today, everywhere spark like this. In fact, before I even go ahead to tell you to play his the soundbite of what he said there, there's been lots of reaction. And trust my sister from River State, Ikore girl, Tonto Dike, jumping in on this very quickly. She says, I don't involve myself in bullshit. All right, you understand that? Especially other people's She says, okay, so this I must say is the biggest embarrassment from any government agency or drug law enforcement agency at that. I would like to say more, but I'll wait for NDLEA. She tagged them with her full chest, perhaps not as full as mine, to pick. She said, I will wait for them to pick me up for an interview or drug test, or just to chat on why I'm bold enough to call them out. And she says, Sir Maz, I'm ready. This is my river sister, they find trouble. She now says, you know my address. I'll ask, she said, you know my address. I'll ask you do it respectfully, otherwise we'll have a problem. This is a big challenge to NDLEA. She now says, and if I'm replied, I'll gladly respond disrespectfully. Did you hear that? She said, and if I am replied, perhaps in the conversation, I'll gladly reply disrespectfully. I have absolutely nothing wrong on the said artist, but the government. And she tagged them again and said, you are looking like a disgrace. This is not insult, although, but I'm open for a trade. But this is from a daughter of the soil speaking out on your misconduct. Is this skit for comedy show? And then she says, I'll unfollow now. You guys are the most unserious set of folks. And if you come for me, I'll be ready to say. She said a lot. She said a lot. So, Lagos, let's quickly let you know what Naira Marley said when he was,
People, you know what it is. It's a boy Naira Marley. I would like to urge my fans, the Malians, and all the Nigerian youths to stop doing drugs because it's not good for your well-being. Let's all stop substance in any form. I've keyed into this campaign to support NDLA to stop drugs on the street. Please join us. It's really not good. It makes you go back into crime. It does a lot of things to you. Thank you very much.
So so a lot of people are saying that because his music and all of that actually encourages and promotes the use of drug. And that, in different occasions, most of these people or these kind of artists like him brandish all sorts of, drugs. And why will NDLEA now allow themselves to be associated with someone that does this kind of thing? Perhaps that's where Tonto Dike's anger is coming from. I would like your reaction. Do you think that somebody that used to do bad thing, can the person not change? Because he stated there from the voice bite that drugs makes you to do a lot of things that would not be good. So perhaps he's repented. After all, we have repentant Boko Haram people that were incorporated back into the society. Can somebody not repent of their bad behavior or a behavior that they've realized that is not good? Should it be a big deal? Or do you think that Tonto Dike was even right in the first place for attacking openly the NDLEA like this? Because tomorrow now, if NDLEA now mean a case now something happened now, they will not say, oh, they're doing too much. Well, shit too much in the attack. That's my say. Phone lines are open, Lagos. You can send me your WhatsApp messages 0700-903-9039. That's the WhatsApp number 0700-903-9039. But the number to call is 0700-903-903. Mr. Darlington, in just 1 minute, let me have you take.
Okay. You see, one of the attributes of a good leader is to apply the 48 laws of power, and one of them is the end justifies the means. Remember that something happened in the Bible, which is a very good example. On the 25th of December of every year, there was a fetish practice that was so popular was it not in the Roman time and all that? The Feast of Luperca. Why do you think that the Catholic faith choose that day as the birthday of Jesus Christ? To replace that fetish practice.
Absolutely, and that's why some Christian faiths, yes, a lot of pagans. So that's why some Christian faiths will say that we're not celebrating Christmas because it's not the birth of Jesus.
They've converted those people who are doing those things on that day into the Catholic faith, especially.
Yes.
And then two, even in the Bible, to liberate the Israelites from Egypt, God used Moses. Who was not even a good character by our standard. You can see. So what NDLA had done, they know that this guy has a lot of followers. Many youths identify with his character and his behavior. And he's now turning a new leaf. That means those youths now, they are using him to reach out to those youths That is a simple.
So you know what you just said now just reminded me those days. As a thespian, and Mama was also incorporated into the church because they noticed that a lot of people like to watch us stuffs like that, and the pagans and all that were about that. So what they did was to bring those drama into the church, and it dragged the attention of the pagans into the church, and that's how most of them were converted.
Exactly. So instead of fighting them, you can't fight all of them now.
Okay.
Use their leader to bring them in. Yes.
Okay. Lagos, do you agree with Mr. Darlington? 0700-903-903-903. You know that, or would you rather say that, NDLA would have as well chosen another artist? Why did they not choose someone else? Must he be Naira Marley?
No, because
you understand? With all the baggages he has in that aspect.
Because they know he's the champion in that area.
All right. So this message from Onye Kachimwachuku from Ajawa Estate says, "I'm Precious. Good evening. Oh, maybe Naira Marley has repented. Oh, we don't even know. And we know no. He go don't repent." Exactly what Mr. Darlington is saying. Let me go to the phone lines. Hello. Good evening to you. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening.
Hello. Good evening. This is Samuel from Egbeda.
Samuel.
Yes, from Egbeda.
All right, Samuel, your line is not very clear, right? So you just help us, rush it.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear now.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, but just be quick with it because your line is not so good. Go ahead.
Okay. I think that what the NDLA is the best way. It's not the best way. As this man said, it is the best way.
Is the best way, Abi? Okay.
Yes, to reach. It's the best way.
Thank you. Nobody saying Tabi. Nobody holy pass you. All right.
He was not hiding his own.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Then this message says, this says, Ben from USA says, Precious, I love you more 210%. Thank you for giving me some love. And I said, Mr. Darlington, God will bless you for your good work and professionalism. Thank you.
At least
you say 110 now. Now draw now. You get 110. I get 110. It's balanced now.
No.
What's going on here? Well, let me go to my next call.
My own came from international.
No. My own is international. What's his name? Let me look for his name. His name is Ben from USA. Hello, good evening to you.
Okay, my own is from Chicago.
My name is Tony.
Yes, USA, Chicago, not USA.
I'm calling from Abule.
Tony, you're welcome. Please go ahead.
You see, all those people where they criticize Darlington.
No, we don't come out. We don't come out load hand for that one. We don't wash our hand like Pontius Pilate. Come out for that matter. Just put mouth for Naira Marley case.
Just listen to Naira Marley.
Put mouth for Naira Marley. We will not get time.
Naira Marley. Naira Marley. You listen to me. Paul, the greatest apostle in the Bible, said, "I become all things to all people, so that I can win them to Christ." You see, so if NLDA bring a Naira Marley, let them bring more other people like that, so that they can change the situation, the narrative.
All right.
So that things can be easy for those drug people. So those people they criticize the Darlington for back, they both cry, for back. Like you had to talk with that.
Thank you so much. Okay, all right. Say that they cry for back, yo. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. Welcome, sir. What's your name? Yes, you. Alpha, what's your name and where you calling from?
This is Mr. Easy talking.
Mr. Easy, where you call from?
Yeah, from Idemo.
Go ahead.
Yeah, as regard the Naira Marley issue, if we say we should be, the NDLA should go and pack everybody that into such, it will not make sense, because how many people can you bring? Now, for them to see Naira Marley should represent every other person, it makes sense. At least, people, they usually have a head, and Naira Marley, as he has so many subordinates, so many fans. But at least those his fans, once they see that our boss is telling us
we cannot do like this, so
it's a good one.
All right.
It's a good one.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. All right. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Naira Marley is best for the job. Let me know what's your time. He's the best for the job.
Thank you,
and
Mr. Darlington.
Very, very perfect.
Mr. Darlington, you're winning this deal.
Ugo,
thank you. Ugo, thank you so much. Thank you. All right. right, Augustine, who will be that? Augustine Mwari Suba Ndubisi says, old things are passed away. Behold, change is possible if he truly has changed, not trying to create familiarity and commit more crime in future. That's what you're saying. And it says, Naira Marley of all people, I reserve my comment. Henry from Ikoto sent in that message. And this one is still lambasting Mr. Darlington and APC. Oh, let me just go to another corner. This one says, no, I'm not. Well, we've gone past that. This says, with Naira Marley fighting against drug, I dreamt Niger Republic voting. Why on did you do like this? Why on did you do like this? So you won't make a read this thing where you put them, because I know where your mind is. I know where your mind is. Tunde from Ijegu says, good evening, Precious. It's a good thing he is made to advise his folks so that they can repent. Meanwhile, the NDLEA made Mr. MC Oluomo the same. People said otherwise because he was Oluomo. Double standard, whereas Oluomo doesn't smoke and drink. That's what you said. Okay. And then this says, I totally disagree with NDAA. If they want to do so, Naira Marley should call back all his songs that he promoted those drugs. Wicks from Mafoluku sent in that message. Hey. Naira Marley record songs. You know how much you lose? Hello, good evening.
Hi, Precious. Hi, good evening.
Hi, John. Welcome. John, we don't have time. Oh, yeah, sharp. Was it a good decision or not?
Oh, if you don't have time, I have a lot to say. Let another person.
Why would you like to be? Why would you have to be doing a lot?
No, I want to move emotion. That's why I think if I have that time to move emotion. Okay, before I talk about, I'm not interested in Naira Marley. Make them carry their wallet they go. I just wanted to move emotion. Mr. Darlington, there was something I was I've been listening to, because you're the one that brought me to this program, and I was moving emotion. If you could see it in your heart and teach me, I don't know of others, so more of history, because I felt that I learned through history, through you, of what happened in the past, in the amalgamation of Nigeria to this stage we are. So I want you to think about it and, see if it can be possible. And also, Precious, what do you think?
If only my director will allow me.
All right, thank you for moving your emotion. Bye-bye. Thank you. Hello, good evening.
Bye-bye.
Hello, good evening. Oh, God. Hello. All right, then let me take a few messages. And then this says, the best man for the job, Naira Marley is the best person because he have large followers on the line. We have been advocating for him, for the NDAA to use him as their ambassador since they see him as their icon. Oh, wow. And then this says, good evening. You can only use a thief to trace thief. The footsteps of thief on the rock. Kudos, NDLEA. Tune from Ijeoma. All right, okay. Ben from USA said he's calling from North Carolina. Oh, wow, I have a friend in North Carolina. And this says, good evening.
I have a friend in Chicago.
No, but I have a good family friend in North Carolina. And this says, good evening, Nigerians. NDLEA made this right choice. Naira Marley has been promoting drugs. And what's the best way to make him unpromoted? Tonto DK, on the other hand, has not been a good example for young ladies. So I wonder what justification she even has. Exactly. We just give it to NDLEA. They have been doing quite a great job. Osas sent in that message. On that Osas note, I beg to differ. I have raised my button up. Mr. Darlington, 5 seconds, your final thoughts.
Please, anybody that is supporting the invasion of Niger, let them remember what happened in Russia. As I talk to you today, the Russian government are conscripting young Russians to join the army to fight Ukraine. Are you ready for that? Because that is what will boil down to. When push become shove, they will start asking Nigerian young men to go and fight in Niger because we don't have the army. Get it right. We don't have the army.
All right, your 5 seconds is far gone.
If you want to fight another man's war, be prepared for the consequences. Good night. All
right. Yeah. This is even the law in Nigeria, and Nigerians don't keep his own laws. So what's the big deal? Mr. Darlington needs to be celebrated. Please, I'll take care of your next summer holiday to Switzerland. No joke, you are reducing a lot of BP. Oh yeah, take his details. So he has to go for summer. And this summer has finished. It's next year summer. Lagos, thank you so much for letting us do this. Thank you for joining us. We'll do this again tomorrow. So tomorrow on the show, I'll be having a lawyer join me. And guess what? I'll also be having a sex therapist joining on the step down conversation. The step down conversation tomorrow will be we're gonna dig it down and talk about the thing on Zaoza room very, very well tomorrow. So you don't want to miss tomorrow's edition. Join me at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow as we dig into that conversation. My name is Precious Enyi. Have yourself an amazing evening. Did I tell you on Facebook, I'm at Precious Enyi Official. Twitter is Facebook is Precious Enyi. Instagram is Precious Enyi Official. Twitter is Precious_Enyi. I'll see you tomorrow, Lagos. Have an amazing evening.
Are you aware that Iruka Online Limited installed and designed a 100,000 capacity church building? Oh yeah, we are the sole distributors of global leading brands all over the world, such as Wafday Light Array, speakers and digital amplifiers, Preseno's digital mixers, and studio